The Greatsword has always remained the strongest weapon in the Monster Hunter series and always exudes the main character energy vibe that you really want. Not only is the Greatsword capable of the highest on-hit damage in the game, this thing also has a ton of range and access to perfect guards and even counterattacks with the offset slash. But that's not all, as the Greatsword also has access to hyper armor and can even use a focus strike from mid-air, believe it or not. If you're new to the channel or not subscribed, yo, what's up? I'm Tara. I'm a Monster Hunter veteran who's played the series for 20 years, and I'm also a weapons expert as I play every single weapon in Monster Hunter Wilds. Probably clicked on this video so that you can be a damage main or an absolute dopamine fiend, as this thing hits big numbers. But jokes aside, the Greatsword also has a lot of utility in it as well. And in Monster Hunter Wilds, the Greatsword hits harder and truer than it ever has in the entire Monster Hunter series. The Monster Hunter Wilds iteration of Greatsword is my favorite incarnation ever. So in this guide, I'm going to take you through the training area. I'm going to teach you everything that the Greatsword has to offer. But not only this, I'm going to teach you all of the tricks that you need to understand with Greatsword and all the little nitty-gritty details in battle, but more importantly, so that you can understand why I consider this the perfect weapon in Monster Hunter Wilds. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider it. I'm on my way to a goal of 100,000 subscribers, and we got a long journey ahead of us. But you'll also be notified of any guide content that I put out for Monster Hunter Wilds, as I plan to cover everything there is to know about this game, as I'm also going to be making a weapon guide for every single weapon in the series. But without further ado, let's hop into the training area. Our first main combo with the Greatsword is actually an interchangeable combo. Utilizing triangle or circle, or triangle and circle at the same time, we can do a 3-hit combo that can be switched up intermittently with whatever you want. As long as you go to the wide slash, you can go into the overhead slash, or you can go into the rising slash, just like that. Now the main gimmick with Greatsword is that we can actually get charge slashes by holding down the button. There are 3 levels to a Greatsword charge slash. There's white, yellow, and red. Every single level of charge on Greatsword gets you more damage. White, for instance, does 86 compared to a normal 66. Yellow does 110, and the red charge being the best, sitting at a whopping 137. Do note though that when you are doing Greatsword charge swings, if you hold onto the charge too long, you actually don't get as much damage. You need to let go at the proper time for the red charge to get the best damage. Now talking about our second combo with the Greatsword is actually just pressing the primary attack button, triangle, over and over again. All of the slashes that you see in this combo can actually be charged as well. So if you really wanted to do a very long combo, you can hold charge on all these as well. It's really up to you when you want to let go of the charge swings, depending on if the monster is staying still or not. Sometimes going for the full charge swings isn't always the optimal thing to do. Sometimes you need to just let them rip. You still get really good damage. Another combo that you see with the Greatsword is the forward lunging attack combo. Pressing circle in the bottom left, as you can see, 3 times will get us a wide slash, into a tackle, and into a leaping wide slash. This is good for clearing small mobs, or if you just need to reposition a little bit, your hunter actually moves a considerable distance. And there is one extra little attack you can do after any strong charge slash, which is the strong wide slash. Something to note when you are doing a strong wide slash is that the damage actually depends on how long you hold your charge down. As you see, we did 61 damage there, but if we go for a yellow charge, we'll actually get 90 damage. Now let's talk about the other move that's also in the forward lunging attack combo, which is the tackle in between. Now the tackle, as you see in this combo, actually does blunt damage, and it also has hyper armor. You'll still take damage from attacks, but you can get through monsters' attacks. Normally, as you can see, this is actually the one that throws you back. But with the use of tackle, we can get right through it. The tackle also has other utility as well. Whenever you're charging a charge slash, you can actually cancel by pressing tackle. You can cancel at any time, whether you're doing a true charge slash charge. You can do it over and over and over. And as you may have noticed, whenever you tackle, it actually upgrades the charge slash that you're doing. It kind of acts as a shortcut to get straight into true charge slash. The tackle is one of the greatsword's best mechanics, so do not overlook it. You can do a wide slash into a tackle. You can start an attack charge and go straight into a tackle. You can roll and press triangle immediately, or your primary attack button, to go straight into the tackle. And you can also do a kick straight into the tackle. Now that's two more things that we need to talk about. One is that the greatsword can block. The greatsword's block is actually very strong. You'll take damage and your sharpness will actually decrease, but it's better to block in a situation where you think you can't dodge. As all blocking weapons, greatsword actually has a perfect guard. The benefit with a perfect guard on greatsword is you have significantly reduced recovery time and you can start doing attacks immediately. The perfect guard with greatsword is also not to be overlooked, as this gets you a lot more damage opportunities than if you normally blocked and not gotten a perfect guard. If you're guarding with greatsword, you can evade out of it, but if you also want to go into a tackle, you can go straight into kick and press triangle to go straight into the tackle as well, which also leads to damage opportunities. It also moves your hunter forward. Greatsword also has one more attack that can only be done after the tackle. After doing any tackle, you can actually press the right trigger and triangle at the same time to get a side blow. The side blow also deals blunt damage and acts as a way to move your hunter forward. If you're trying to reposition and you want to roll after a tackle and you mash X, it takes that long to get out. So because of that, what you can do instead is you can press triangle, go straight into the side blow, and then roll. You'll even get a very far distance. And as we talked about before, you can also get the leaping wide slash after a tackle. This also repositions and does a considerable amount of damage. Now let's talk about focus mode with the greatsword. The greatsword, while in focus mode, if you're holding guard, you can actually turn your guard the way you need it to go. This is the same for any weapon that has a guard mechanic. With focus mode as well, greatsword actually has the ability to change direction while you're attacking. So if we're missing over here, we can actually easily turn if we're holding the left trigger or holding the focus mode button, and we can go the exact way we need to go. We'll whiff here, but then we'll hit here. You can even do a complete 180 turn. Because of this trick, we can actually get double damage on sleeping monsters, as sleeping monsters take double damage on the first hit that they incur. Now let's talk about the focus attack with the greatsword. Landing a focus attack actually gets you a straight up shortcut into a true charge slash. However, do note that the monster actually isn't guaranteed to let you get the full charge slash. Sometimes it's just best to let go and get a level 1 or a level 2. You can also get a leaping wide slash after it as well. Now, it may be hard to believe, but greatsword also has the ability to use a focus attack mid-air. If you already have your weapon drawn, you can actually use a focus attack mid-air to get the same result. And of course, straight into true charge slash. Now let's talk about greatsword's new attack, the offset rising slash. The offset rising slash is the combination of triangle and circle at the same time, except we hold it down, just like a charge slash. It has 3 levels of charge, as you can see, the red being the best damage and the most damage mitigation. If you successfully land an offset slash, no matter the charge, your hunter will hook slinger forward, and you get to follow up with a cross slash. Getting an offset rising slash is actually pretty easy, and you can even do it pretty early. But you can also delay the cross slash if you need to traverse further. Now, it takes a little bit to get used to the offset rising slash. You can typically do it in combos. You don't really need to go for the level 3 all the time. Even just getting a level 1 is really good. Now, another way to get the offset rising slash is to get a perfect guard. There are actually a lot of shenanigans you can do with the offset rising slash. Okay! Okay! What is that? No. This is the 360 no scope. Perfect block. Into charge rising slash. Hit on the backswing. Ooh! We'll do it again! We'll do it again! Oh! Oh! Jumping, as we showed earlier, you can get a jumping charge slash. You can actually get a red jumping charge slash, but you need to be quite high up. So with the use of this wedge beetle, we can show it off. And you can go straight into a strong charge slash. The damage isn't as good as in Monster Hunter World, but you can also do a little bit of ledge cheesing, as I call it. By rolling off a ledge, you can actually direct your hunter backward and do a jumping charge slash as well. The damage in this game is significantly worse than in Monster Hunter World. However, this does do a considerable amount of mount damage to a monster. So getting mounts this way is actually really easy. So make use of your terrain if you want to get a mount for all of your team or even just for yourself. Now talking about slopes with the Greatsword, when you're in a slide, you can actually press the R2 button to block. This will stop your slide completely. But what's cool is if you press the triangle or primary attack button, you get the charge rising slash, which goes into the plunging thrust. If you don't let go of the charge rising slash in time, you'll actually just go straight into a normal charge slash. And as I mentioned before, with the Greatsword having a focus attack mid-air, you can also do it after the charge rising slash. Now let's talk about the tried and true best damage combo in Monster Hunter World. With Greatsword, it really is as simple as getting the full charge slash combo. This is the most bang for your buck, but is most easily accessed on a monster knockdown. If you don't have a lot of time or the monster's not knocked down, you can even just go for draw slashes into like level 2's charge strong slash attacks. I find this to be quite easy, and you don't even need to charge them sometimes, and you can roll out of the way and tackle through monster attacks and keep it going. And if you see an opportunity, then you go for the true charge slash. Now the combo I showed you at the beginning of this guide of the wide slash into overhead slash or the rising slash is actually not very useful when it comes to damage. However, as this is a guide, it is important to show you all of the combos. So I highly suggest not using this on typical monsters, but this can be used in good instances where you're trying to cut a tail with the long reach of some of these attacks or you're trying to clear small monsters. But for big monsters, stick to the charge slash combo. Early game Greatsword weapons I would actually make would be to actually follow the expedition tree, as following the expedition tree can get you into the ore tree. And the ore tree Buster Sword 1 actually has a skill on the weapon itself, critical draw. Critical draw increases affinity when performing draw attacks. You have 50% affinity, so that's pretty much a guaranteed 50% chance on a critical strike, which deals a lot more damage on your Greatsword charge swings. Another recommendation would be the Camatrus tree, actually, because this comes with the skill Punishing Draw. Punishing Draw adds a stun effect to draw attacks and slightly increases the attack power. This actually changes the Greatsword into a different playstyle where you can knock out monsters with your draws instead. And if those don't actually suit you, I also highly recommend the Bone Tree as well. The Bone Blade 2 actually boasts a significant higher raw attack value than either of the other two weapons, but also comes with two equipment skills. The first equipment skill would be Attack Level 3. Attack boost in Monster Hunter is always a true raw value of attack, so Attack Up 3 is actually a lot more than you would think. Focus also slightly increases the gauge fill rate of weapons, but more importantly for Greatsword, reduces charge times of your charge swings by 5% at level 1, maximizing at 15% at level 3. But as I said before, the Bone Blade is actually one of the perfect weapons to use because it has such a high raw damage value, and that's really what Greatsword makes the best use out of, which is just damage focused on your raw attack, not necessarily your element. Now, as we're near the end of this video, I want to give my thoughts on why I think the Greatsword is the perfect weapon if you haven't already understood why. First off, the Greatsword has access to extremely good damage, and has great range, has blunt damage capabilities for knocking out monsters, you can cut tails with it, it also has decent movement abilities through its attacks, it has tackles which have an inherent hyper armor to get through roars or monsters' attacks, which also upgrade your charge slashes, it also has access to blocking, and in Monster Hunter Wilds, the perfect guard mechanic is such an absolute beast of a mechanic that makes this thing a parry god. But not only this, we also have access to the new Monster Hunter Wilds mechanic, the offset slash. The Greatsword truly can do it all in Monster Hunter Wilds, and I consider this the perfect weapon. This is truly the main character energy vibe that we've always wanted with Greatsword, and it's finally here in the Monster Hunter series. You thought that it hit hard before and that it rang true as a hero weapon before? No, this incarnation of the Greatsword is the absolute best version I've ever seen in the Monster Hunter series, and I'm actually very, very excited to be playing it even more as we journey into Monster Hunter Wilds. Absolutely phenomenal job. Great job, Capcom. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please consider it. As I did mention, I'm on my way of a goal to 100,000 subscribers, but you'll also be notified of any guides that I put out, as I plan to cover everything there is to know about Monster Hunter Wilds. But not only this, I actually live stream on YouTube and Twitch as I multi-stream, so that you can actually watch me put these weapons into action live. But that's enough for today's weapon guide, guys and gals. After watching this video, do you think the Greatsword truly is the main character weapon of the Monster Hunter series? If not, which weapon do you main in the Monster Hunter series? And do you agree with my take that this truly is the perfect weapon in Monster Hunter? Please let me know in the comments down below. But that is all I've got for today's video, guys and gals, Terra Knights. I hope you had a good one. I'm signing off. This has been Terroriza, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace!